So when I was 19 years old, I already had like 3, 4 fights, and I just tell to my friend, I told him like I just want to get UFC, get on my Instagram verification and the uniform from UFC, and that's it. I don't want anything from this sport. But then I started keep winning the fights, and people started like tell me you're like a good fighter, and you can get in UFC. Even my manager even told me so, and I started believe myself and train hard and keep winning fights, and I got in UFC. So when I fought last time in Russia, it wasn't UFC. So my manager told me like you're gonna get in UFC soon, and he called me before 3 weeks. You got the fight in UFC, and I said okay, I signed the contract. And then he asked me like, "It's Islam Makhachev." I said okay, it's way better, and I was super excited because I was super young, 22 years old, and I wanted to win so much that fight, and yeah, well, I mean, this is the biggest dream in my life. I mean, just when I was young, UFC was like super big for me, and I thought it's like impossible to get there even. But when I get there and when I started to fight, and I understood I'm like a guy who can be a champ here. So I thought I'm gonna win 100% that fight because I'm a good wrestler, I'm a good striker, but like I didn't have good experience that moment, and like good time, you know. I didn't have enough time to get ready for that fight, so I got like about 3 weeks before fight. But it's not excuses. It's just I should be better. I wanted to be a champion, and I started like thinking about championship. And when Islam got the belt, I said I want to fight with Islam for the belt. So it's a rematch and fight for the belt. So I think just me who can beat him right now. People like think he's unbeatable and like crazy wrestler, but like I took him down when I was 22 years old. Now we're in different levels, so we know how to strike, we know how to wrestle, and during the fight we gotta find our keys and just do what we do the best. So I'm gonna try like do everything on that fight. I know how to wrestle very well. Second, I'm young. I'm young and hungry, so I never had a belt, so it drives me very well, and I have a lot of energy for the trainings, and I believe myself. I'm the guy who is gonna beat him. So yeah, the most important thing, I'm super hungry. You know, I want to get the belt so much, and it's like kind of dream. When I get in UFC, I just started to think about that. It's game plan. When you got like hard punch, you forgot about game plan. So if I heard him very well, he's gonna forget about game plan. So it no makes sense. Same as me when like lost my fight. Oliveira choked me, trying to choke me, and like after that moment, my game plan was gone. So I didn't remember what was my game plan even. So that's why I gotta hurt him very hard in the first round, and then it doesn't matter what game plan they have. I'm doing this for fun, and I don't have pressure on me. I'm just doing for my favorite things, what I like to do. Yeah. And yeah, but he has a title, he has a big team, he has a lot of people who helps him. So, but me, I'm a little bit different. If like never know, but like if I lose, nobody gonna tell me anything, you know. Yeah. But he's gonna lose everything. I just care about the title. Yeah. No money, nothing, no hype, no followers, just title. This is what I wanna get, and yeah. This is not my goal, and I wake up think about title. When to go to sleep think about title. I just to be honest, I need the title. I don't want to have like I don't want to be like super popular or something, or like have a lot of money right now. Right now it's my goal to get title, and after title I'm gonna think about money, because it's gonna be business. Right now for me it's a sport, so I want to get there, and when I get there, I just gonna think about money and all that stuff.
Honestly, I know, like 5-6 months ago, I'm gonna fight with Arman because he's a number one contender right now, and he really deserves to fight for the title.
Yeah.
Of course, he improved. He have more experience, but same skills, you know. He he beat all this guy because they don't have wrestling. But when someone have good wrestling skills, he always have trouble with Gamrot, with me, and it's gonna be again. He have good wrestling skill, but if somebody defends, he have problem also. It was one of the hardest fight, of course, but it's not like toughest fight because the 5 round with Volkanovski, it was crazy. It was heart rate more than 200, it's called, you know. But maybe I was underestimating because he's
Short notice.
short notice. Nobody know him, and he don't have name, you know. And I never watch his fight, and he did well in that fight. But I like to finish the all questions, you know. When I have with Volkanovski the fight, I told everybody I have to close the I have to finish the questions and finish, you know. That's why the second fight I will be looking for the finish and
So-
make everybody shut up. Honestly, I like to fight second time because, you know, I don't like rematch, but you know, when I fought second time, I know everything what my opponent can do, and it's not gonna be surprise for me, you know. But sometimes when somebody like Dustin did defense wrestling and he like defends my submission skill, you know, it's a little bit surprised me. But when I know everything what my opponent will do, and you know, I have more options. But the first fight, I don't know his background, you know. He defends my wrestling. He give me just, you know, he's tough. That's why he give me hard time. But now I know everything what he can do. Charles, every round almost finish him. Do some guillotine, do some triangle choke, like everything very close. But I think I have more chance. I training really hard every camp, every time, non-stop. That's why I always improve. I still improving right now, and I love to fight. And you know, now it's my goal to finish all questions. You know, let's a little bit talk about Arman. Honestly, I told all my fight career I want to fight with a real contender or with a real fighter who deserves the title fight, with the tough guy, you know. That's why I think he's deserved, and it's gonna be a huge fight for the fans because he have all skills. He good in the striking, he good in the wrestling, grappling. That's why it's gonna be two high-level fighter fights. I don't know if I looking behind Arman, if I beat him. I don't know. I'm tired to give somebody rematch, you know. I need the second belt, Bilal there. We'll see.
I was surprised because it's not his territory, and I thought he wants to maybe fight in Saudi Arabia or Dubai or somewhere else, but not in California, because California is an Armenian town, you know. Yeah, of course, I don't have something to say him. I just want to get his belt, and for me, it's like a sport, and we don't argue, or we don't have some drama, and just we want to fight, and to see who is the best in lightweight division. I feel like I'm completely different fighter right now, and now I have everything to beat him. Yeah, for sure, he has changed a lot. He improved his striking, his clinch, and his elbows, knees. So he's good on my type. But like wrestling skills, it's same. Of course, I watched a couple times, but like I already know how should I fight. So it's a couple of mistakes I did that fight. So Yeah, I spent a lot of energy when I wanted to take him down, so I shouldn't because he's defends very well. He defended very well, and I should like mix striking with wrestling. So I should more strike that day than wrestle. I feel like me and Mirab were together, and we gotta beat them because he's Georgian, I'm Armenian. I was born in Georgia, and uh, we are close, you know, and so we know each other very well. We trained, so hopefully that night we're gonna celebrate with Armenian and Georgian dance. Just gotta be focused on Islam, and then this is the most important fight right now. And no, I wanna finish him. It's a goal. Oh, it's a goal to finish him and not let judges to judge me. If I beat Islam, it's like kind of beat Habib's team, you know. Of course, I'm Armenian, and I want to be first Armenian champion in the world, and uh, it's a big deal for me, and I want to represent like Armenian fighter, you know. Sometimes, but like for me, I don't know why right now it's not it's became a not big deal for me. Before it was like crazy. I thought like if I'm gonna be a champion, life is gonna change. But right now I'm like uh, so calm and just I need the belt, and I don't think where I'm going after when I get the belt or what's gonna happen. I just want to see Vandana like get me a belt on my waist. Yeah, because it no makes sense where you're going or what are you gonna do. It's the most important thing, win the belt, and then you can do whatever you want. So
Olha, acho que é um jogo muito parecido. Eu acho que o Islam tem um pouquinho do time, evoluiu muito na parte da trocação, sabe? Mas o Tsarukyan é um cara também duríssimo. Pra mim é indiferente, eu sou o próximo da fila, mas acho que vai ser uma grande luta.
I mean, I think it's pretty similar. I mean, they fought before already, but it's pretty similar to this last matchup. It comes down to endurance pressure and who wants it more. Islam's been on top for a long time.
What happened
so
in the first fight? I missed that one.
It was like wrestling, striking.
Yeah.
It's just a little edge dominance
I'll
for
pull it
Islam. But he's a better striker. I think he's more rangy. He's more like people don't give him credit for what he deserves because he's good on the feet, man. He can hit hard, and he's getting better. He's getting more confident. And he's good everywhere else too. I think he's a longer guy. I think he can get off on shots.
Do you think Islam's a better striker?
I think he wins scrambles and create dominant position.
Do you think Islam's a better striker?
I think he's a better striker. Yeah.
Okay.
When you think about these two and what they have done since their first meeting way back in Moscow, what are your initial thoughts of this fight?
I just like it because Tsarukyan has looked so good and Makhachev has looked so good, but I think they're the perfect style matchup. The matchmakers know what they're doing. When you look at, they try to find the matchup that makes the worst sense for the champion. Like, what can beat them
But he's
is what
tasked
they
with
want to
that,
put
though,
you
right?
against.
As the champ, you're tasked with fighting
Correct.
the biggest, baddest, scariest dude in the world every single time.
But it's not just that. What the matchmakers do is they find the style that is that for specifically the champion, and that is what Tsarukyan represents to Makhachev. It's the toughest style. He can match the grappling, he can match the wrestling, he can match the takedowns, and now you're forced, maybe you're going to see a stand-up fight out of two guys who don't like to stand up. Does it cancel out? Or do you see one of the greatest combination of wrestling and jiu-jitsu, sambo essentially, mixed together all in one, and you see that. Like, either way, it's a win-win.
So my question to you is this. After watching Dustin Poirier compete with Islam and defend takedowns in the way that he did, if you're Team Makhachev, are you concerned? Because Arman, on paper, historically, has been a much better wrestler than Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, but there's always the striking of Dustin Poirier. How much sharper? Plus, he's a southpaw. Is he against that matchup versus a grappler? So it's like, how much of Poirier's stand-up was Makhachev so careful of that it gave him more grappling transitions? And does he have the same transitions against Tsarukyan? I don't know, because Tsarukyan looks to grapple to set up his strikes. So it's like, it's not that these guys can't do everything. It's what's their first style, what's their very first mixed martial art, and how have they branched according to that. And when you look at Tsarukyan, it's grappling.
Yep.
When you look at Makhachev, it's grappling. When you look at Dustin Poirier, it is boxing and probably some jiu-jitsu, but he's not like a wrestler first, right? He's not a jiu-jitsu or a sambo guy first. That was learned over time. So that favors Makhachev. Whereas when you have somebody who's as comfortable at wrestling, comfortable at grappling, as we're talking about with Arman, excuse me, it's a tougher fight. That's why they're making this fight happen.
So for me, I like the fight because it represented a tougher challenge for Islam at the time when they fought.
Yeah.
Granted, on 2 fight cards, Islam won 30-27. On one, it was 29-28. I believe that Makhachev falls victim to expectation. He's been so dominant that if you are able to compete with him in any way, it seems as though you did better. Bro, he shut Dustin out and submitted him. And the story was Dustin Poirier. I mean, this guy, Islam, has finished Charles, finished Volk twice, and then just finished Dustin Poirier in his last 4 fights. That is a crazy number. But when you think about Arman Tsarukyan, he has constantly improved, and he has said since the first time they fought, the moment he got another opportunity, he was going to beat Makhachev because they didn't have a training camp to do that. I think these are the 2 best lightweights in the world. I've watched these guys time and time again separate themselves. And when you separate yourselves, you have to find that equal. You just generally don't get it when 2 guys are kind of running parallel to each other. Makhachev has looked amazing, but I do believe this is the biggest and best fight for him, unless he was doing something different in another weight class. But when Arman Tsarukyan has to still down, go and beat a guy that beat him last time, right? I know he wasn't 100%. I know he didn't have a full camp, but he still got beat.
Yeah, he got beat. And I think that's not, I mean, it's easy to say probably that Makhachev has the advantage in this because of that. But when we go back to Poirier and how everybody was hyping him up, remember, Poirier is a southpaw boxer.
Yep.
This Tsarukyan is not a southpaw at all, so that changes the takedown techniques, makes them easier. We have more reps versus conventional fighters at takedowns than we do against southpaw, so that's one thing. On top of that, people and the fans, and including the judges, understand striking better. They do not understand even what a whizzer is.
Do you think that? Do you
disagree?
No, I agree with you 100%.
So that's why they're pumping him.
But do you believe that because Arman Tsarukyan knows how to wrestle so well, he'll be, and Islam too, they'll be where the other expects, which then makes the chess game even bigger and more in depth for the person to try and figure out. That to me is exciting.
I think it's really much simpler, and from my experience of watching wrestler versus, it's whoever moves forward.
Yeah.
Period. It's really that simple to me. It's like whoever can control the forward momentum of the fight for the longest amount of time is the one I think is going to win.
I fix everything, all my problem with hands, and I in the camp last 3 months, and January 18 I will be ready 100%. No, of course, if you watch the rankings, Arman is a #1 contender, and all my life I told people I want to fight with the real contender who deserve high-level fighters. That's why he deserve, we will fight. Yeah, if you watch his skills, he have good skills, wrestling, and who have the wrestling skills, they control, they control lightweight many years ago, beginning from the Khabib. Now it's myself and Arman have good skills. That's why he's a #1 right now, and he a real contender who I want to fight.
For sure, he's the best fighter in our division, and he defend his title a couple of times. And I'm so excited for this fight, and can't wait to be a champion.
His first thing what he improved is experience. He have a lot of fights in UFC now. You cannot buy these things, it's happen becomes like every day, every fight. He have more experience, but the skills I think he have same. I saw his all fights. He have good wrestling. He take down his opponent, try to hold them, give him like hard time. But I know I have everything to defend his wrestling, to defend his wrestling. That's why I'm best fighter in the world right now.
I'm so happy to be to represent my country, Armenia, Russia, and
the fight gonna be in Armenia, in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
That fight gonna be my second home. It's Los Angeles because a lot of Armenian people there. I'm so excited. People so excited to watch that fight, and I'm gonna train very hard to get the belt and to be the first Armenian champion in the world.
I don't think about this, but people say I'm close to be, but I really happy to defense band against Arman because it's gonna be a huge fight for defense. First of all, it's gonna be a huge fight because first time we have the bonus to the performance of the night, but second fight is gonna be same. It's gonna be a huge fight, and this fight is fighters who have high level skills. The common event, main event, the 4 fighters who have high level skills. It's not first rematch for me. I don't like the rematches, but I told you he's a real contender, and I don't have any options. If I see the rankings, now he's a contender, and I will defend my belt.